Welcome to Come Sit With Us podcast. I am your host, Nicole St. This is your host,
Anna Ennis. I'm Anna today. I'm decided.
You're just Anna.
To be here today.
Okay.
You guys, we're so glad you're here today. We have such a good conversation to talk about. This has been a common topic that we've noticed in the women in our world. And so we kind of listened to you guys of what you want to hear about. And so today, this is one of those things.
All right. So we're going to be discussing ways to create more clients. Okay. I know some people use magnetize clients or get clients. I don't like that. So I'm going to say we're going to create
how to bring fucking fabulous people into your world that are like, hell yes, I want to buy more. What's next? I got to be close to you.
So I think I have a few different kind of examples here. There's we know quite a few business people in the community, and just different strategies that work and that don't work. So one would be market research. Yeah. I would suggest this for anybody.
We're going to do strategy first, and then we're going to do energy.
Yes.
It takes to maintain the strategy.
And I'm going to give some examples with each of these. So I know somebody who is currently new to making cutting boards. So a good market research would be to contact all of the local charcuterie people, the people who create parties, who do things. Hey, do you use, what products do you use? Do you buy in bulk? Do you buy from home creators? Mm-hmm. What kind of products are you looking for? Do you only use a specific type of wood in your cutting boards? You can do this with various different kinds of things, whether it's, calling the charcuterie people or, finding a different avenue to do that. But market research
I'm in branding,
important.
Right?
Yeah.
And so or I'm in helping people build out systems and stuff. So I just reach out to people hey, where are you struggling in your branding? Where are you struggling here? What's happening here? I've held different questionnaires on stories, or
same thing.
You just start asking friends and family, what can I do? Right? How was my bread last week? What would make it better?
What would make you want to purchase from me as opposed to somebody else? What are you looking for? What problem can I help you solve?
Yeah.
Because that's really what I want to do.
Yes.
I just want to be the person that provides solutions. So in my own business, that's what I do. I provide solutions. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're having difficulty in showing up for yourself. You're having difficulty in your communication, your marriage, your relationship, you're having boundaries. Here, come talk to me. And I've got a solution for that. But really finding out what people want. Mm-hmm. I literally put it on my stories yesterday and I got some really great feedback. What would you, if you were to get a free hypnotherapy audio, what would you want to hear? Would it be, you're having success, more abundance, or more confidence? And I got some really great feedback. So you want to definitely do your market research, because otherwise you might have the world's best product. But if you're not navigating it in the correct course, I don't know, I feel like there's more than one way to do it, but I just feel like you need to know kind of where you stand and then move from there.
I think too, in my own journey, it's looked a little bit different. So in the beginning, I did market research, and then I realized I don't want to do that area, or that's not my passion.
Yeah.
And so I think we can use ourselves as a barometer of what feels good to us to do. There's been multiple times where I've tried to do certain things within my business and it felt really hard. And I was just kept on pushing through. And it's why am I pushing through when that's not the right avenue or the right time for me right now? So I think in order to figure out who the hell you're talking to or who you want to work with, there has to be this point where we understand, moving from a place of enjoyment.
Yes.
And I think sometimes on the internet, there's a lot of oh, just go, you research and you do this. And then it's I found myself when I did that too much, it felt because I already am that type of a person. I'm already in my head all the time.
And so this is for somebody who's just starting out.
Yes.
This is for someone who's trying to find what niche they want to do. What, like this guy that I work with who's creating these beautiful cutting boards. He showed them to coworkers and all of a sudden he had all these custom orders. He realized he was very quickly overwhelmed by the customization. He's like, no, I want to create what I create. I want to create what I want to create to make it fun for me. And I'm then there you go. Then you're not going to do custom orders because that just doesn't feel good for you. Don't force it. But you could do, where you find out the type of materials that these other people are using or that other businesses might want to use, just in a way to get you more options of where you can sell your product. Getting it in front of more people is really kind of the goal of the market research, is who can I get this in front of and what avenue should I take? Which leads me to Also reevaluating what your business looks like. So, my business has always worked a specific type of way, but whenever I change it up and I add something different, sometimes it can be a little bit uncomfortable, but sometimes it's like, I don't want to keep doing the same exact thing. I love hypnotherapy and I love hypnosis and coaching and I love providing solutions, but the way I choose to do that can look very different. I will use my friend who bakes cakes. He is phenomenal at baking cakes and they're really beautiful. He does wedding cakes and birthday cakes and but then you're constantly looking for somebody to purchase from you, right? There's a bajillion people out there that are baking cakes, right? So how do you set yourself apart from other people? And maybe you still, because you love baking and decorating the cakes, but again, you want it to be creative on your level, not somebody bringing you a picture saying, here, do this, or I'm not going to be happy and everybody's going to know about it. You know what I mean? So there's like 5 different ways that you could create new clients from changing the way that it looks a little bit. Maybe you just bake a ginormous cake, you decorate it beautifully, and then you cut it into these huge slices and you sell by the slice, as opposed to creating a cake that is just for one event for one person. You can create this, you can resell it in the form of a pastry cart. Get yourself a pastry cart. You can go ahead and what was the other thing?
You can do just pop-ups.
Pop-ups,
like,
that's what I was,
there's
yeah.
a lot of social
Pop-ups.
media pop-ups that like I've bought bread, cakes, cookies, all from women who are like, hey, like I'm baking this week, like who wants it?
Yes.
I just bought some chocolate covered strawberries for Valentine's Day. You know, that I know this is posting afterward, but like I bought from someone local that was just like, hey, I'm doing these. I just feel in the mode right now. And I'm like doing this and like, who wants it? Like,
yes.
I think when you get in that vibe of just like your creativity and your art, you sell faster.
I feel like it's a little bit magnetic
Yeah.
to people. Also, they're like, oh my God, I totally want to support this person. 1.
Yeah.
2, that looks amazing and I want some. Yeah, I'm going to test it out. I got cookies from a lady that was like, it was like a pop-up, like at her house.
Yeah.
And
same.
They were the
Home
best
bakers are the
freaking
bomb.
cookies I ever had in my freaking life.
Home
Okay.
bakers are the bomb.
My husband took a bite and said, oh my God, these taste just like my mother's. These taste just like my mother's cookies that I haven't had in too many years. So, it was awesome. It was like a really beautiful moment that I got to witness just from purchasing from this young woman who's a mom trying to find another income with something that she loves to do. She's very passionate about it. And so it doesn't have to always look the same. Like she didn't need to go and start a bakery, you know, out of storefront to do this.
Another way too that I've bought from, I'm thinking of all the different ways that I've bought, even just cookies, right? So my kids, when they were little, we used to have these class parties all the time and you have to have a store-bought like cookie, right? Which was categorized under some of the home bakers. And like, there was women that brought in these beautiful baked home cookies. And I'm like, oh my, who baked? I want that. Give me them. Who are they? Like, so it's like giving your product away for certain targeted areas where you know your market is at. Like moms spend money on stupid flipping cookies for birthday parties and for anything other, any other celebration. So it's almost like looking at where can I take my product to where people would, even if I have to give it away, if it's the right room to give it away to, then you give it away. You know, when you're just starting out. I know for me, multiple times when I was doing events or I was doing photo shoots or I was doing, even in the very beginning of my career, like haircuts, like I was in college, like when I first started doing hair and it was like, okay, who wants a haircut? I want to try this new haircut out. And I'd be cutting in my apartment, which that got a little out of control because as soon as the word's out, it's like, oh, you do hair? What? Like, yeah. Well, but it's like a fun way to not only master your craft and your art, but it's also a way to like get your name out there. And I think sometimes we forget about that. We think that we have to constantly be growing on social media, but it's like we're in Nicole's house right now and there's like hundreds of houses here that like, I'm like, oh, maybe they would want it. Maybe so-and-so down the street would want, you know, like, I think when you're open to opportunity, like it finds you.
It does. But I do think that it's important to like, if you hyper focus on this is how it has to look, no, it has to look like this, then you're missing an entire group of people because you don't want to see that you can do your business, you can serve, you can still create in the same manner, you can still have the business that you want. Sometimes it looks a little bit different and that's okay. It does, you still want it to feel good, but I just urge you to not be so resistant to it changing a little bit here or there.
Pay $50 and go to the farmer's market and take like a smaller version of what you have to offer if you're selling. We're on the cake thing right now, but if make some little cute cupcakes and be like, oh, by the way, I also do cakes, wedding cakes and this cakes and that. I mean, do you know how much I spend on cakes for birthday parties for my
Do
kid?
you know that you could literally go to every law office? Like law offices, you could go to, oh my God, to like all of the downtown businesses.
Massage. I'm thinking of massage right now also.
Yeah.
Like there are so many opportunities where if someone pops into your business and like, hey, I do chair massage. Can I offer this to your team? Like we could do Fridays at lunchtime. Like, what? Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you? I would pay $25 for a lunchtime massage. Like,
Absolutely.
what?
I sure would. We used to have this little pink lady. She was the pink lady, the one of the volunteers. We called them the pink ladies,
Yeah.
at the hospital. And she was this very elderly woman, and she would come and give you a 1 minute massage. And you would,
I'll take it.
every nurse was like, we don't expect anything of anybody when the pink lady is here, because for that 1 minute, you get to have a little bit of peace. And it was wonderful. And she actually even continued doing it after she had had a stroke, because it was part of her physical therapy. It was like the sweetest thing. She would just come and just give us all these quick little massages. We're like, oh my God, this is so wonderful.
Dude, that goes into the second part of this that I think is really important, is like being remembered. So it's like one thing to put your product out there, and like, but it's like, what memory are you creating in someone's mind when you actually deliver your product, right? Or when you give them your product? Like, especially, I think of online, but I also think of in person, for brick and mortar people, like when someone comes into your place of business, like, do they feel special? Do they feel seen? Do they feel heard? Like, did you take a minute, look up from what you're doing? Hey, how's it going? I'll be right with you. Like,
yes. Okay.
it's like being remembered. And like one of the arts that has been totally lost in our society right now is like eye contact. I was at O'Brien's the other day, which is a local grocery store where we live. And I had made a mission from the very beginning of the day to the end of the day to like look people in the eyes when I was talking. This lady looks at me and she's like, whoa, you're intense today. And I'm like, no, I'm looking at you. Like, she's like, wow, nobody's looked at me today. I'm like, what?
What?
Like nobody's actually looked at her in the eyes. And it's like, how many times do we do that? And now she remembers me every time I go in there. Oh, hey, Anna, how's it going? It took one time for her to remember, right? So it's like, it could just be a simple grocery store that you're being remembered at.
Well, and here's the other thing, like with regards to business, is like, I recently had a conversation with a woman who is in mortgage, and I don't remember the last time I heard somebody be so passionate about the level of customer service they want their people to feel. The way that she discussed like her clients wanting to leave her office, like the way that they leave, she wants them to leave feeling like, oh my gosh,
on top of
like,
the world.
Like this woman has just given me the best customer service I've ever had. And I know I felt that from people that I've worked with. The lady that we bought our house from, she's a local real estate agent, and she is phenomenal. And the customer service that I got from her, it was like above board.
Yeah.
It was above and beyond what I thought I was going to get.
So even if your product is kind of shitty, let me just clarify this. Okay. When I first was in the business of doing hair, I was not good at it yet. Right. But I understand that customer service and like treating someone kindly is going to get you. The reason our salons were so successful is not because we gave the best freaking haircut or the color. We did do fabulous work. Okay. It was because like we understood the person on the other side. Like we wanted them to feel special, and we wanted them to feel special because if one day something goes wrong and they don't like what we did for them, they're comfortable enough to say, hey, Anna, that's a little off. Like the bangs were a little off, or this was a little off. Great, let's fix it, because it's 10 times harder to get a new client than it is just to keep an existing one.
Exactly.
So keep the people
people want to feel like they want to feel heard and seen, and people do want connection. And if they get that from you and your service in the 5-minute conversation that they have with you as they're trying to find out if you're the person that they want to hire, then you're more likely to get that client to want to stay with you. They turn from a potential client into a longtime client. So which takes me to creating community. Mm-hmm. So collaboration. I was recently asked by someone who is changing the way that their business looks, a way to get additional income in their business. They're changing the way this looks for them. They have a storefront. They're doing something new within that storefront that's exciting. And they said, hey, would you mind coming and, doing a visualization hypnotherapy thing? Just like 10 minutes, mm-hmm. It gets me exposure. It gets them this new fun thing that people are coming to their place for because they want to have this experience. Mm-hmm. And they get to build community. I mean, that's really what it is. It's a group of women that all wanted community. They wanted to feel like there was a connection being made because we've just kind of all gotten lost in we've gotta go do this and it's gotta look like this. And this is what I'm bogged down with the busyness. And I feel like as a collective, we are just not taking care of, like, it's kind of a one-sided, I don't know, like
Yeah,
it's an
one-sided relationship.
uneven,
Mhm.
it's an uneven amount of like work versus play. The work-life balance sucks for the majority of people right now. And I just think that it's really important if you are in a business that you can create a community like that, then you should absolutely
That's
do
my
it.
favorite thing is community and
Mhm.
collaboration. Like there's something about, and I can go both ways. Like I'm very, very comfortable creating community in person with like brick and mortar, but also online. Like, but prior to us recording this, like I was on the phone with someone from Ontario, Canada that I've met one time, and we just had a conversation that was like epic, amazing. And she's like, okay, we're gonna do this together now. Yeah, great, let's do it. Like there's a commonality there. And it's like, I've been following and watching her for a while, and we've met in person. And now there's like this totally different feeling that was there now that wasn't there before, just by like being like, hey, you want to meet up on
So
a Zoom?
exciting.
You know what I mean? So it's
So
like
exciting.
the internet has the opportunity for us to connect to people all over the world. We just have to be willing and open to say, hey, can we get on a like 30-minute Zoom? I'm watching you right now. Like, I have to know your story. I have to know who you are.
Yeah.
It's like when I get a message like that in my messenger, like they're not trying to sell me anything. There's no other intention other than I want to know you. I want to know your story. Neither of us sold to each other just now. We just got to know each other and like our stories.
Oh,
And
I love that. I love that.
I do it every what's today? Monday? I do it every Monday and Thursday.
What do you mean you do it? What do you do?
I find people that I want to bring into my world that I love, and I set up Zooms.
That's brilliant.
Some people I know, some people I don't know.
Oh, I love that.
And then I do in person too. I've been really working on this.
I love
Fiercely
that.
loving people.
Fiercely loving people.
Fiercely
Oh, I
loving
feel like
people.
that's the name of a new retreat. Fiercely loving.
Loving people.
Anyhow, okay.
Okay, so I do want to touch really quickly before we go on, we've given you guys some really great strategy ideas when it comes to like cultivating new business in.
Wait, I have one more. I just have one more.
Okay, go.
One more
Do your
strategy.
last one and then
Okay,
yeah.
free content. Social media is freaking
Oh.
free. If you are not on there giving free, valuable content, maybe if you are the baker, you are showing people how to create something amazing. Maybe you are talking about them as the get ready with me whenever you are the person who's selling women's clothes. Maybe you're showing them how to style versus how to wear, because that's huge and not enough people know how to style their shit. Maybe you are just doing your woodworking
Mm-hmm.
as you're watching, like as people are watching and people
Yeah.
watch all kinds of things. Social
Great.
media, people want to be educated or entertained. You can do both.
Yeah.
And you can get a lot of free clients, like just from giving some value that people want to come into your world and be like, oh my God, I want more of this. How do I get closer to you? How do I get to know you more? Because then you have someone like Anna that's calling you and saying, hey, let's get on a Zoom together. Let's do something amazing.
And I think no matter what level you're at, whether you're just starting a business or whether you've been established for a minute, there's a power in humbling yourself of like, let's just meet people. I think for myself last year, and this is just my personal journey, but like I've spent so much time and effort building my business last year online that I stepped away from actual like a human connection, because I was just so in the trenches of like figuring this out. And now that I figured some of it out, right? Now it's like I've circled back around to like really what I love doing, and that's like connecting and meeting with other people. But like you can't actually get new people or new clients unless you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
There's got to be a level of, okay, I'm gonna put myself out there. Like,
and consistency.
Yeah.
I know, because it's where I struggle the most. Okay. So let's just call it like it is. We're going to keep it real over here at Come Sit With Us. We're going to keep it real. Yeah.
I have a lot of other struggles.
Yeah. That's my biggest struggle is consistency. So anyhow, okay. So what about the energy?
Okay. So yeah. So now that we've given you kind of some practical stuff, I think there's a component that it's under, and we kind of started touching on it in what we just talked about, but there's an energy behind what makes you magnetic. So and I'm going to give you two different kind of like scenarios. When I was first doing hair, which was gazillions of years ago, and I was like 19, 18 years old, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But there was like this energy around me. I was like passionate. I was like, yes, like I had this frequency of like, oh, I don't know shit, but I know shit, right? Like I remember coming in and they were like, okay, we're going to do a highlight with foils. And I'm like, we are. Yes, we are. We are going to do a badass highlight. I had never put a friggin' foil in a head. And so I was like, yeah, we're going to do this. Yeah, let's go. Like, and I just knew that I had to humble myself to learn from my mentor. Like, okay, I gotta be in the good energy. Like I gotta show up with a good attitude, even though I don't know how to do this. So I think sometimes we think that we have to already know how to do it in order to show up positive. But it's like, the people that I buy from are people that are like, one, super confident, but also that are like, yeah, I'm going for this. Like I'm going right over here. This is where I'm going big right here. I'm not quite there yet. I'm still becoming her, but I'm like, come here. I want to be in your world. Right. So I think there's got to be a frequency of, you got to do the inner work, some of the inner work. Like you got to magnetize people through like your attitude, through the way that you show up, the words that you use, the way that you treat yourself, like how you take care of yourself, like so all of that.
So I'm going to just give you a really great example of this. Okay. So if I come online and I say, okay, so I just, I've got these openings and I really need some like 3 new clients. Like I really need 3 new clients that really want to work with me. How much would you really want to work with me if I sounded desperate for new clients? But if I'm like, hey guys, I have got 3 new openings available to come work with me and be in my world. I would love to figure out how I could serve you. Like whatever. I don't know.
Or you can
there's
even
like
get really more specific too. You can be like, hey, I have 3 opportunities, one for branding, one for this, one for mindset, one for consistency, one for productivity. Like this is who I want to work with. Like when you come with a conviction from your passion,
Yes.
like I'm all in. I'm like, okay, I don't even care what she knows. Like she's got more fire than anybody I know.
But you can tell it in the energy. A place of desperation and you just want your business to work. That is not the vibe, man. That is not the vibe. The vibe is I am like pouring so abundantly into everything I'm doing, and I am so confident in the skill that I have to help solve that problem.
Or the skill I'm getting.
Yeah, the skills that I'm currently working on, that I know that I'm your person. And I don't know. I just feel like it really is all in your energy of the way that you talk about what you do, the way that you show up in how you're doing it. Anna, just go look at Anna's page. And I'm telling you, she comes with the highest energy 100% of the time, and she is just killing it, like fucking killing it right now.
We both are.
Well, yeah, but
there's a lot of people killing it.
There is a lot of people, but I'm just saying, like, if you want a specific example of what I'm talking about, go watch her stuff. Go watch the free content that she has.
So I want to talk about the how though, because I think I got asked this 3 times yesterday. Like, I don't understand how you show up consistently with that much energy. Like you've got to have low days. Yeah, there are lots of low days, low times. Like I said in our podcast, the last episode we recorded, like Sunday, I did absolutely nothing. I was in my pajamas till 20 minutes before church. I looked like a tore up mess. I like laid in bed the whole day almost. I'm not sick. I just felt like I wanted to do that. My kids came in there. We just like snuggled, hung out, right? I don't show that on social media because that's not my business. If I had a business of stillness and meditation and like quietness and like I would show that part, and maybe someday it will be that, but that's not my where I'm at right now. Like I focus directly on what I know that I'm good at. But what I want to share with you guys is like, I'm in the same process right now. Nicole's in the same process. And this is the thing that we do in order to show up magnetic within our business, online and offline, is that number one, we ask ourselves like a few different questions, but we decide what the hell that we want, and we decide who we want to become. And here's where, when I was younger, it was like, oh, fake it till you make it. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like, you decide who you want to become. So for me, I'm going to just give you an example. Like I've decided this year, I'm going to be a super fucking strong, amazing, healthy, like vibrant, younger, hotter, richer, wealth, like all of it. That's this year. That's what's happening. Okay. Like that's what's happening. So I realize in some parts of my life, I'm not quite there yet. But in my mind, I wake up and I say, okay, I'm reading my words of what I'm going to be this year, this week, this month. And like, I go towards that. So like, even what I'm wearing, right? Like it's a Monday and I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm wearing bright lip color. I'm wearing way too sparkly earrings. Like, this is how it's going to be. Because this is what the version of Anna looks like, the one that makes like $10 million. Like, this is what she looks like. So I think there's all different ways, like even the way we eat or like the way we show up for ourselves. Like, you do the same thing, you know, like we have all these excuses we could use. I mean, you homeschool your kids, you've got a big house, you've got tons of kids here, you've got a husband, you've got a lot of stuff going on. Would it be easy for her to not put makeup and do her hair today, or like her earrings? Like, it would be very easy not to show up today like that. And it would be okay if she didn't. Totally okay. But the version of in her mind of like where she's going, she's like, yeah, no, I'm playing the part today. I'm not going to wait till it actually shows up. I'm going to like make it happen now.
So I'm gonna use a different example, and this is something that I actually, so I'm a huge like Harry Potter nerd, just FYI.
Nerd.
I'm a total Harry Potter nerd, but
you look like Harry Potter today.
If you
you look like a pothead today. You totally do.
Pothead. Shut
a Potterhead.
Okay,
that's what they call them. Potterhead.
It's a Potterhead, not a pothead. That's something different.
All right.
Oh my God, she's hilarious. Okay. I'm a nurse. I'm not a pothead. Anyhow. So, what was I talking about? Harry Potter. Okay, so there's a scene in like the third movie where he has to create a memory. Well, the dude doesn't have any freaking happy memories. He's had a horrible life, right? He's had a horrible freaking life. And in order to do this spell that he's got to do, he has to tap into the happiest memory he could even imagine. It's not even a real freaking memory. He says, I don't even know if it's real, but it's the happiest one that I can think of.
Create it.
And that's what he does. He taps into this idea of a happy memory that he doesn't even think is real, and that his life has showed him no evidence of having been ever that happy. But he still finds a way to tap into that every day. And I love that analogy. And for those of you who know Harry Potter, you get it. If you don't, I'm sorry. I hope that I did it justice. But it's really just about you saying, you know what? I need to show up for this client, and I got to fucking turn on, dude. I got to turn on. I got to turn on the volume. I got to turn on the fucking energy, and I got to turn it all up.
Because you can always turn it down.
Because here's the thing.
After.
My client deserves that. They deserve me at my best. They don't need to sit here and know that like my life was falling apart for the last 6 months, whatever. It's not, but I'm just saying, if it was, they don't need to know that. They can just know that like, I'm here for them and I want to help them with their solutions, and let's work it out. Like, let's figure it out. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for you to feel heard. I'm here for you to feel like I am all in on your transformation. And so that's what they're going to get 100% of the time. I'm not going to come with shit ass energy. So in your business, I just encourage you to be high energy, to give great customer service, and follow up. That's something that I also struggle with, following up. So that's something I'm working on.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
So I think to like recap today, there's equal part strategy as there is energy behind the strategy, because you can have strategy all day long, but if you don't have the proper energy and you haven't worked on your own self, like propelling your own self forward into like goodness, then it's like not going to work. And same goes the other way. You could have great energy, but like no strategy behind it. It gets you for a minute, but then it's all of a sudden it's like, I'm spinning and I'm spinning. I'm working really hard and I'm getting nowhere. It's like one or the other, right? So
well, yeah, and you can have
married.
You can have all the strategy you want. If you don't take any action, you're fucked.
Rude.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. I love you guys. Nicole loves you. Couple different opportunities here. So one, follow us on Instagram at @comesitwithus_podcast. Second opportunity is that we have a membership. It's $4.99 a month, and it's an entire portal. So we have a ton of stuff already in there, and we add new stuff every single month. If you're interested in that, let us know. The link is down below. Bye.